Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby and I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to show you a workout you can do on your home workout machine if you have one. Sometimes people live at condo or apartment complexes and they have something similar to this. So I'm going to show you some exercises you can do on here so you know what to do when you go into the gym. Or if you have one of these in your home and you don't really use it very often, I'm just going to show you kind of a full body workout you can do using one of these machines. Okay, so we're going to start with a lat pull down. My dog Tubby came to say hello. And there's a few different ways you can do it on these machines. So one way is to sit back onto the bench like this. And this is probably the best way, but I always want this to be pulled down in front of your chest. So this might be hard depending on how the machine is. You can usually kind of position yourself on the machine that you have to make sure that you're pulling it down front ways. One way I like to do it, because I think this one was more designed to pull it down behind, which is kind of the old school way to do a lat pull down, and that's not how I recommend doing it because it puts your neck in a bad position and it's not really a functional way to do things. So I like to use my ball. The other way you can do it is just turn around and sit on, just turn around this way. So this works really well too, or you can sit on a ball if you have one. Okay, so we're gonna do 10 of these. When you let your arms go up, you wanna make sure your shoulders stay down below your ears. Don't let them come up, particularly when you let your arms go up. So don't do this. We need to be nice to our necks. We have a lot of neck pain anyway, so we don't want any more. We don't want to cause neck pain with the exercises we're doing. So let's do about 10 of those. Every machine is different as far as the weight stack. They don't always correspond, usually because of the pulley system. They don't correspond to, the actual weight sometimes. So you might think, oh, it's only 50 pounds, I should be lifting 100 or whatever. It doesn't really correspond always because of the pulley system. Sometimes you can lift a lot more on one machine and a lot less on another. So find what works for you, write it down so that when you go back the next time you remember and it doesn't take that much time. Okay. Next, we're going to do some squats. So there's a couple different ways you can do squats too. Generally, these have like leg extension and leg flexion on them, and I don't like them because they put your knee at bad position. So I'd rather have you do a squat. So you can either like hang on here to sit back and do a squat, which is a great way to start, or I'm going to try, I got to change my weight here. So there's a little pulley here at the bottom of this one. Like I said, all machines are different, and you may have this, you may not. But I'm going to sit back in my squat here and lift a little bit of weight. So I'm going to use the weight of the machine. The good thing is when I sit back, I can use that as a counterbalance to sit back and really get a good squat. I'm trying to turn here. Generally, you would do it front, like face on, so that you're getting a good even way to do this, but I want to be able to demonstrate so you can see I'm sitting back, putting my weight in my heels, and just using this weight. So like I said, normally I would be here, keeping it nice and straight, come up all the way each time. So each time you stand up, put your hips forward, stand up all the way. Okay, so let's do 10 of those. That's a great way to get your quads. Like I said, normally I don't like the knee extension and flexion machines on these, and they pull out like that, but it usually puts some bad torque on your knees, and I don't like that. Okay, next we're going to move back to a chest press. So this one, I can move these out of the way because it's a home machine, but if you sit on a machine, and then this one has a chest press. Most of them have this option because it's a pretty popular movement. So this is similar muscles to the push-up, quite a bit easier than a push-up because all of these muscles are resting kind of in this position on the bench. The good thing about using machines is that you can put just emphasis on those single muscles. So you don't have to worry about if you're having a lot of difficulty with those other exercises. You don't have to worry about putting your body through that. When you do this chest press, start nice and tall, go straight forward, keep those shoulders down and away from your ears. If the machines sometimes limit your range of motion. If the machine that you're using on any of these exercises causes any pain, don't do it that way. I'd rather have you use a free weight or a band to mimic that motion, because sometimes it puts your body in a position that it just doesn't like, and you can't change the position because that's the fixed position. So if it doesn't feel good, if it hurts a joint specifically, your elbows or your shoulders, don't do it. Mimic that position with a band, because you can do most of these with bands, and then you can change the range of motion and see if you can do it in a pain-free range of motion. Okay, so that was chest press. Next, we're going to do a hamstring curl. So we can use this band that I did for squats, and I'm going to use quite a bit less weight, and you can wrap this around your ankle. So I'm just going to do one side to demonstrate. But wrap this around your ankle, get a good, and then make sure you have something you can hang on to for balance, because this can be a little strange. The other thing you can do is use a band to do this if this isn't an option on your machine. This one can rest there. I don't really have anything I can grab. I need even less weight. But the other thing you can do is stand next to this thing and stabilize. This one can be quite difficult. I'm going to stand straight on. So by isolating that one hamstring, you can really get a good workout on one leg at a time. Like I said, this can be difficult for balance. So make sure if you do this in a home gym, or if you have an apartment or condo type gym that you have this type of option, make sure you've got something to hang on to. So those are hamstring curls. Another way to do those even more safely is to do them with a band. You can rig up a band, or I've showed you those circular bands. You can just put around your ankles and then hang onto a countertop and go back and forth like that. But that's one way you can work your hamstrings. Switch legs, do 10 on both sides. Use quite a bit less weight than those other exercises that I'm showing you, because this one can be really challenging. Okay, next we're going to turn around and do a row. So there's a few different ways you can do this. Different machines have different options. I've got an option right here that I can attach a piece of equipment to, and generally there's smaller bars and ropes and different handles and things you can use. I could use my handles that I use for my bands, but I think I'm going to use this today. I don't have my smaller bar here because I have it at my gym. But generally, just like we do the row with the bands and different things like this, it's the same motion. So if I use the bar, the thing is you want to stabilize. So make sure you can even kind of come right up next to this machine and row straight back. So keeping your hips back just a little, pulling straight to your chest. Remember to keep those arms away from your shoulders away from your ears. Breathing. Nice and slowly, both directions. Make sure also that the machine that you're using is upkept. Sometimes home gyms and apartment gyms don't necessarily get the upkeep that they need. So if you need to, especially in your home gym, just use a little bit of silicone spray on your poles. Make sure it's clean, free of dust. I know how these can get dusty if they're not used very often. Okay, good. So that was 10 of the rows. Make sure you're protecting your back with that one. So you're standing with your hips back just a little bit. So we're not doing it straight. You never want to do anything just kind of standing straight. So nice and a good athletic position, knees bent, hips back just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to switch it back to the top. You can do a triceps extension. Like I said, a lot of these have ropes. I'm just going to use this bar because you can use it for all sorts of different applications. Make sure, yeah, I need less weight. Okay, so a triceps extension, which we've done with tubes and things in the past. You want your elbows right in your sides, and you're going to press straight down. So if you don't have a home gym and you're doing all of these with, do the same things with the tubes right now. So you're just going to press straight down, just like that. The only joint moving are your elbows. So I'm going to stand straight onto the machine again. So I'll turn just a little, and then you'll press straight down towards your legs. Nice and slowly, both directions, always with all of these, especially with these machines. You want to control it both directions. Again, I'm standing in an athletic stance. My knees are bent just a little. My hips are back just a little. I never want to just stand straight. So just a good supportive position. Always want to support and engage the rest of your body. So 10 times. Remember, the only joints moving here are your elbows. You don't want to start here and go, this is going to be easier, but you start to use your lats. So right now, we just really want to isolate those triceps. Okay. You can use the bench, use the machine to get a little core in. So I'm going to show you a plank, and you can always bring into mountain climbers. So I'm just going to lean on the pads here, and I can just hold this plank. So a nice straight position. Or if I want to, I can add some mountain climbers, bringing my knees while I hold that plank. Give it a little bit more intensity. Or you can just do this on the floor, next to the machine. It's another easy way, staying in the same position, staying in the same area of the gym, just going back and forth. So if I go down to the floor, I can do some mountain climbers or hold a plank. Get some good core activation. It's important after sitting on the machine where your core is not engaged for the majority of the exercise to make sure you get that incorporated into your workout. Okay, and one more, we're just gonna do a balance. You can do it because this is a sturdy place to be. We're gonna do a single leg stance, and you can use this as your balance mechanism. So I'm gonna do a single leg stance. Do some balance. Make sure your area is free of debris, so if you do lose your balance, you're not going to step and trip on anything. So we'll do a single leg stance. Like I said, you can use this for support. This is a very sturdy object. So we'll do about 30 seconds on one foot. Remember, we're holding your hip up nice and strong here, not letting it sag into that relaxed position. So about 30 seconds, and we'll switch legs. Remember, if a single leg stance is too much, you can try a tandem stance. And holding that can be a really great way to challenge your balance. So remember here, if you need to, I'd rather have you touch just a little if you start losing your balance than, falling over. So sometimes I just recommend to people just hold your hand right over that sturdy object, and that way you can just touch if need be to really just get that balance without having to reach all of a sudden and then, banging your hand or something. So just keeping your hand right over that sturdy object, and then you can just touch rather than sort of losing a lot more of your balance and risk injuring your hand or your arm or something. Okay, great. So that's a full body workout you can do on your home machine if you have one, or like I said, if you live in an apartment complex or a condo complex that has one of these. It's a pretty common thing. And that way, if you don't have one of these and you want to follow along with this workout, like I said, use your bands, use your dumbbells to mimic those exercises. Okay, thank you everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, and this came from a suggestion from somebody because they wanted some ideas. So if you have any suggestions or requests, send them my way. Thank you. Have a great day.